What's up, guys? M.V.K here, back again with the next installment of Patreon requests for you guys, and this one comes from the man himself, one of my patrons, TheMtVernonkid. And Tim wanted me to know, numero uno, game crossovers you wish would have happened. So video game crossovers that I wish would have happened. Now, that's an interesting stop because there have been a couple of video game crossovers I wish would have happened, but one will not be on there. There will be no Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat. I'm sorry. I have become very downplayed on that. To me, over the years, it just got too implausible to do, and I was just like, okay, I don't care for seeing it anymore. To me, I know they're two of the biggest fighting game franchises, but I never saw them actually connecting in any way. I could never see the Street Fighter universe and Mortal Kombat universe really connecting on a realm. And then I know somebody will say, oh, but they did Mortal Kombat and the DC universe. Yeah, they tried. But with that being said, guys, I have eight video game crossovers I wish would have happened. And I'm not saying they couldn't if they wanted to. Some could probably still happen if they wanted to. But some are just wishful thinking. But that's what I'm here for. So let's kick it off, alright? Number one on the list, of course, is Devil May Cry and Ninja Gaiden. Yes, I would have loved to see Capcom and Tecmo or Ninja Theory team up and do a crossover game between having Dante meet Ryu Hayabusa. I would have loved to see them battle together against demons. I could even kind of pick out what the story could have been about. I could have seen like some sort of demon. I could even have seen one of the stories being Virgil wanted to get the Dragon Blade from Ryu, the legendary Dragon Blade from him, and he causes some mass destruction in doing it. Picks a fight with Ryu Hayabusa, and Virgil learns real quick that you don't fuck with the ultimate ninja. Yeah, but I would have loved to see that because I would have loved to see Dante's charisma mixing with the serious tone of Ryu Hayabusa. You never hear this guy smile or crack jokes. Ryu Hayabusa is always just serious. So it would have been cool. But I don't think it will ever happen. It probably never would happen. But I would have loved to seen it. Number two on the list. Another one that would have loved to seen it, but it would never happen now. Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear, and Splinter Cell. I mean, who wouldn't have loved to been able to play a game with Solid Snake and Sam Fisher, them teaming up, or maybe a misunderstanding in the beginning, but at the end they team up, and you can go stealth with either one of them. That would have been so cool to see. I mean, I've seen videos done fan fights with them, and some of them were really good, especially the animation. But I would have loved to see it, even though it's hard to depict where Metal Gear takes place, because they say it takes place there, but a lot of the stuff they were doing in Metal Gear is like that future tech is just way out there. But I still would have loved to seen Sam meet Solid Snake and things like that. It would have been cool, in my opinion. And Snake could be telling Sam, I could see Snake calling him kid, because technically Snake is older than Sam. So it would have been really interesting to see. I'm just saying, it would have been fun. Number three on the list. We got a comic crossover, but I would have loved to seen how they would have done a real game. And what game is that? Mega Man and Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes, there was a crossover comic. I have the comic. It was a fun crossover. It was like 12 parts. It was under Archie Comics when both Mega Man and Sonic was still under Archie. Now Sonic is under IDW now, and I don't know where Mega Man is in terms of publication in comics, but other than that, yeah, I would have loved to seen how they would have done that. You know, Dr. Robotnik or Eggman and Dr. Wily teaming up to deal with Mega Man and Sonic, and the combos they could have created, the robot warriors that they could have created to face Sonic and Mega Man would have been really cool. It would have been cool to see Capcom and Sega come together and try something. But we got it in print form, but never in, you know, game form. Number 4 on the list is, I talked about this a while ago, but number 4 is a fighting game crossover, but it has nothing to do with Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, but it does have to do with the other king of fighters. No offense to SNK, Tekken. And who would have loved to see Tekken crossover with? None other than DOA, Dead or Alive. This Dead or Alive, the Dead or Alive universe, and Tekken would have made a perfect crossover, in my opinion, because Tekken goes out there with the whole mysticism and mythology, and while DOA does it too, especially with a lot of their characters. The fighting controls are not that different outside of when you play Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive is more defensive than offensive. The defensive moves take more than the offensive moves. So everything, all them countering that you get in DOA is very, very more stronger than an offensive move. Don't get me wrong, you can win, but you counter every move, you beating somebody just like that. So number 5 on the list would be Streets of Rage and Final Fight. So another Capcom and Sega crossover. Now, Streets of Rage was Sega's answer to Final Fight. Final Fight was a classic beat 'em up game that's in the Street Fighter universe. People forget that. Yes, that's a Capcom game, and all those characters from Guy and Haggard and Cody, they're in the Street Fighter universe. Metro City is in the Street Fighter universe. So I would have loved to see them, you know, team up with Axel and Adam and Blaze and Max and all those. You know, maybe Mr. X. You know, I could have seen like Mr. X trying to set up shop now in Metro City. So basically, maybe the Mad Gear Gang and the Syndicate of Mr. X teams up and tries to take over both cities. They never really said what the city was called in Streets of Rage, but I still would have thought it'd be kind of cool to see. But yeah, I think that would have been really, really cool to see a Streets of Rage and Final Fight crossover. Next up on the list, number 6, we got the TMNT and Battletoads. How cool would that have been to see the Turtles team up with Slash, Rash, and I'm forgetting the other Toad. Now, don't get me wrong, we have seen the Turtles team up with the Frogs before. If you watch the classic cartoon, you know, Attila and all those, the frogs. But it would have been cool to see the Turtles team up with the Toads, and just how they would have made that work. I would have loved to see that. That would have been so fun to see. It would definitely be a beat 'em up, but it would have been really cool to see. You know, I mean, they did Double Dragon and Battletoads, and that was fun, but hard as fuck. But I would have loved to see it, definitely. And moving on, once again, we'll keep it with the Turtles. And the other turtle is the TMNT and Double Dragon. I mean, Double Dragon just came out with a new game that I still need to play. I haven't played it yet. And if you grew up in the 80s and you had the original NES or so, Double Dragon was on that. You had Double Dragon. And Double Dragon was always fun. That you know, and you either play with one of the twins, Billy or Jimmy Lee, and you know the game starts off with the bad guys knocking your girl out and taking her, and it's just it was cool. So could you imagine seeing that, the twins teaming up with the turtles, and so the villains of the Double Dragon universe teaming up with like the Foot and Shredder, and that'd have been cool. That could still happen. That could still happen, but you know, what can I say? I'm just a fan, right? Last but not least, this is definitely one that could happen. Could happen, but there's still doubts that it would. And that game is Jak and Daxter meet Ratchet and Clank. I don't know why. And I don't know why this has not been done. Putting probably pretty much two of Sony's iconic characters. I loved Jak and Daxter. I've always felt really bad that they never got another revival. Ratchet and Clank did. And I would have loved to see Jak and Daxter meet Ratchet and Clank, and how that dynamic would have gotten. And that would have just been a fun game to play. Sometimes you play with Jak and Daxter, some stages you would play with Ratchet and Clank, and then some you maybe have the choice of. That would have been so much fun. And this is one that I say it could still happen if it was in demand for it. But yeah, Jak and Daxter meet Ratchet and Clank. I would have loved to have seen that. So there you guys have it. Those are video game crossovers I wish happened. You guys tell me in the comment section down below, what are some of yours? I know there's probably going to be people who's like, wow, Chris, you didn't want to see Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat. I got tired of it. It became like everybody wanted to see it so much. It was like almost on every list I would see on websites and everything like that. And it was just like, to me, it just got played out. I was like, I don't care for it anymore. But yeah, you guys tell me in the comment section, what do you think? Thank you, Tim, for the request. I will be back next week with some more Patreon requests for you guys. I try to do my Patreons every week. Try to knock out 2 every week, and I got a bunch. Like every so often, I get alert. You got alert from one of your Patreons, and they got new requests for you, especially my beta level members. So, and I have to keep delivering on that. But those are definitely some. I mean, I still would do a Devil May Cry Ninja Gaiden crossover game. I mean, there's so many. That's not even half of what I had. I had to break this down because I did not want to make it too long. But yeah, those are 8. What are yours? I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.